Hey VC, Gimme 10, part 2 on the label Blue Note. This time a selection of 10 sort of more esoteric, sort of funkier, off the beaten track kind of releases from the Blue Note label. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you check them out because they're all come highly recommended. I'll start with a funky sort of electric jazz masterpiece. Here is Ethiopian Nights by the great Donald Byrd, featuring Donald Byrd on trumpet, Harold Land on tenor sax, Bobby Hutcherson on vibes, David Walker on guitar, Joe Sample on organ. This is an absolute tour de force, which I would put on the same level as say a Mwandishi, like sort of mid-70s Mwandishi Herbie Hancock release, or even an Electric Miles, really excellently played and really tight and yeah, funky record. You can check out quite a few of these sort of mid-period Donald Byrds from 1971. There you go. Ethiopian Nights. Next is a great funky flute record by Bobby Humphrey, Blacks and Blues. I don't know what I can say about this. It's profound and meaningful, apart from the fact that it's a really damn good record. It's produced by Larry Mizell, so it's a Mizell production. So you know what to expect. You've heard of the Mizell brothers. They produced Donald Byrd records too. Who's playing on this? Oh, there's Chuck Rennie on Fender bass, Jerry Peters on Fender Rhodes. I mean, the players are not as well known as here on the Donald Byrd record, but it's just a stunning record, highly recommended. I'll continue again on the same kind of, funkiness, if you will. Here is Grand Greens with the final come down, which is a sort of a blaxploitation soundtrack. This again is super funky. Grand Green, great guitarist, probably the greatest guitar player to ever release records in on the Blue Note label. He released tons of really great solo records on Blue Note as well, but this is just fantastic. Yes, I don't know if I've got anything meaningful to say about this, but if you see this, don't hesitate. It's sublime. Next one is a release that I have on both CD and vinyl, but the vinyl is not on Blue Note. However, the CD is the CD in the tray. This is Jean-Luc Ponty, the French violin whiz, playing the music of Frank Zappa. The album is called King Kong. And basically, it's just the Frank Zappa band. You've got George Duke on electric piano, Ian Underwood. I mean, the band is basically Ernie Watts, Winton Felder. Really excellent, highly recommended release. Basically, it's just a stunning jazz fusion release. I mean, again, not typical of Blue Note at all, but if you see this, don't hesitate. Highly recommended. Fantastic record. Here is sort of an obscurity, I guess. This is the New Heritage Keyboard Quartets. It's twin keyboards, so you got Mickey Tucker on piano, harpsichord, and clarinet, and Roland Hanna also on piano, harpsichord, and clarinet. Richard Davies is on bass, and Ed Gladden is on drums and percussion. So you've got twin pianos, very funky records, not very much talked about. This is on the later Blue Note label, I think. Yes, the black on blue, which is not as nice as the original one, but I think this is an original pressing because it's from 1973, I think. There you go. New Heritage Keyboard Quartet. It's a really nice sort of instrumental, funky keyboards record. Check it out on YouTube. You can check it out. I mean, it'll make a lot more sense than me talking about it, I guess. And since we're into funky instrumental keyboards record, released in the 1973 era, this is an absolute must. This is Marc Moulin from the Belgian band Placebo. Solo release. The album is called Ça Me Suffit. And if you're into rare groove, European grooves, you will know about this, especially Tobu Part 1, I think, with its dripping tap and drum break. I mean, it's just a monster track, really. And it is indeed on Blue Note. You can see there, just about. Must. Fantastic record. Marc Moulin, funky Euro jazz, basically. This next one probably belongs more into the classic Blue Note video than this one, but it's kind of an in-betweener. Here is Unity by Larry Young, featuring Woody Shaw, Joe Henderson and Elvin Jones on drums. Masterpiece, really. I mean, but I kept it in the Off the Beaten Path because it's an organ record and it's pretty damn cool. But it's not funky organ. It's more. It has a more sort of avant-garde slant to it, to the music. It's a lot more forward-thinking than a funky record. But yeah, highly recommend it. And as I said, probably fits more in the first part of the Gimme 10. And the last three records are what you would call in the realm of acid jazz. Talking about this very recently. I love this release. US3, Us3, Hand on the Torch. This is a stunning acid jazz release. And yes, it is a Blue Note release, in case you're wondering. This just is so catchy, infectious, really sums up acid jazz down to a T. And if you're afraid of that phrase, acid jazz, don't be afraid. It's just, you know, just as good as anything else. It's the bridge between jazz and, say, trip hop and things like that. Amazing record. Us3, 1993, Blue Note. More acid jazz shenanigans with this album by Saint-Germain. Tourist. Saint-Germain is a French solo act. His name is Ludovic Navarre, I think. And oh yes, it is. It's written there somewhere. And it's definitely a Blue Note release, as you can see. Yeah, down tempo, sort of early, sort of acid jazz. Not early, sorry, it's wrong term. It's sort of late acid jazz. It's 2000s. Fred is talking shit. It's okay. I do occasionally. It's evening. I'm tired. I really like this record. It's got sort of bossa nova grooves intertwined with sort of trip hop, down tempo type of moods, atmospheres. I like this record. Really good. And finally, I'll finish with a comp which really ties everything together. This is the New Groove Blue Note Remix project, and I've got volume 1 here. I'd love to get my hands on more of these. They're just so good. Just insanely creative remix projects. And you've got Dames, Cannonball, Adderley, Don Bird, Grant Green, Bobby Hutcherson. Spoken about all of these. Remixed it just works to perfection. Okay, YouTube, I hope that you enjoy this double part installment. Feel free to react, comment, vibe, insult me. I don't know. Whatever takes your fancy. That was Blue Note in 2 parts.